Hail, Internet! It's Paul. It's Matt. The Dork Lords. We are here today talking about the Lazarus Project. Season 2, Episode 6. We open in 2012. Shiv is meeting with the Lazarus Project psychiatrist. I think this is the first time we've seen a company therapist. I could be wrong, but of course you would want a Lazarus Project therapist.
Yes, you would.
These folks are all emotional wrecks for good reason, so good on them.
Yeah.
At least in 2012, they had that plan. But I worry because I don't think we see this woman in 2024. So I'm like, did the psych funding get pulled? Whatever.
Hopefully, they give her the serum, so it's not like, you told me this advice before. I'm just...
The implication was she was aware, but you're right. Like, have I told you this? I'm just assuming I've said this before. So just whatever I said last time, do that. But so Shiv is talking about his difficulty maintaining relationships. And he says it's not due to time travel. It's his personality. It's him. He's the reason. He's not blaming it on the time travel. He also acknowledges that he has feelings for Janet, but he thinks that she's too good for him. So at this point, it's in this episode that, until this moment, Shiv kind of had thoughts like, hey, maybe Janet and I could date. And then he realizes that Reberov and Janet are an item. We end with a reset back to July 1st of 2012. The 2012 team is now at the airstrip waiting for the current team to land their plane. Meanwhile, Shiv corrects a mistake he feels he made in the previous loop. Instead of joining a team at the airport, he visits his mother on her deathbed. So, Paul.
Yes?
What'd you think of episode 6?
I enjoyed it, even though it's hard for me to see in this episode that anything happened except to sort of provide for me, basically, when you were saying how they were going to be opposed to each other, I was reluctant to agree to that because I didn't imagine that working. And they've been opposed, and they've seen how pointless that is, and now they're going to work together.
That's your thought, huh? Okay. Oh, that is interesting. I mean, we do see, for instance, 2012 Janet, as a result of this last thing, or maybe she's done the reset a few times now, but she was visibly shaken by the massacre at the lab.
Yes, she is.
So her feelings, I think, about the Lazarus Project have changed. I'm not to say that she's like, I hate them now, but she's second guessing, how awesome the project is, basically, I think. And then Shiv, I think, is reevaluating the goal of the Lazarus Project, and maybe his 100% devotion to it, as evidenced by the fact that he changes his mind. He goes to visit his dying mother, and he's wondering why the future team is racing back to 2012 on this mission. He's like, well, wait a minute. So there, you're right. There is at least some thought on behalf of the 2012 team, like, maybe we shouldn't just automatically be opposed to this intrusion by ourselves, basically.
And I wonder, it's possible that with just 2 episodes left that I will not be satisfied with how they resolve this because, the fact that Wes made a complete about face off camera, it's like, okay, I expect to see what happened or some conversation
for sure. We are certainly going to see that. I would. You're good point. I guess that's not 100%, but surely we're going to see that. Her reaction is very stilted as well. Like, nothing to see here. We're fine.
Yes.
So yeah, we know that as I theorized, Bryson is indeed her son.
Yes, you were correct.
And so in this moment, in this episode, I'm not sure if every reset would be like this, but at least for this reset that we were in until the end of this episode, there were, I believe, 3 Brysons in this area. There's the young Bryson, I'm just normal Bryson. There's the I'm attached to George Bryson, who ended up dying, bleeding out. And then there's the Bryson that went back with Janet to monitor Janet and Becky Bryson.
Yes.
So there were 3.
Yes, there were.
And there's the implication, they even said it out loud, that, oh, look, you could use Bryson as leverage, basically as a tool to threaten Wes into resetting the timeline. So,
well, threaten her? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, right? I mean, that's the
I
idea.
don't know that mean threaten. It's like, look, here's your son and he's dead. Is that what you want? Is that a threat? Because he's already dead.
One of your 3 sons. I think the idea is like, well, maybe I'm wrong. I thought the idea wasn't necessarily that version of Bryson is the why you would want to reset it, but like,
you say leverage, that doesn't necessarily mean threaten.
Okay. So okay, wait. Just to clarify, the idea then you think is, hey, Wes, here is dead Bryson.
Yes.
If you would like this Bryson to be alive, you should hit reset.
Yes.
Okay. All right. For all we know, even Bryson that went back with Janet,
because how do you threaten? Like, we'll make this corpse more dead. We'll go kill the other one, even though actually the other one does get killed. So I mean, we'll go kill your son. I mean, what?
Yes.
Your little
that's
boy
what
son?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking on the lines of like,
wow,
we'll kill your son.
That sounds kind of stupid.
Okay. All right.
Because really, it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna leave now and kill this little boy. Oh, are you?
Well, in other words, you don't meet. You're not gonna like. I'm gonna kill the boy. You promise to kill the boy, unless and then you assume you're not gonna have to.
And then magically escape.
Yeah. Well, here's the idea. We know that Bryson attached to George. We'll call that guy, that version of Bryson, hates or hated until now. He's kind of had his mind changed, but he hated George for some reason. Called him a monster. So something he does here, I think, is what makes Bryson attached to George originally hate George.
Right.
I mean, just the idea of George going to Wes and being like, hey, it's a shame. Bryson's dead. I mean, I think you should probably reset and we could save his life. That doesn't sound horrible, right? That sounds reasonable. So
yeah.
Okay. All right.
So,
anyway,
yes, Wes, like a lot of people, until they're affected, doesn't want to do things to help anybody. So yes, so when other people, their loved ones, were threatened, Wes was like, "Sorry, there's nothing we can do." And now we see what where Wes falls.
When it comes
rather
to her,
than oh no, you're gonna kill a little boy. Oh,
I mean, she'll have a choice to
make.
I don't know. Yeah.
You're like, I better protect my little boy then. I don't. It's like. Are you suggesting, I guess, they stopped to pick up the little boy and be like, okay, we're going to blow his brains out right here in front of you?
Yes, that's what I was suggesting. That was the idea I had. Because I could be wrong. Doesn't George say something like, oh,
that would motivate
here.
her once everything got reset to, like, mobilize everybody. Okay, everybody go chase them down. Not everything's fine now.
Even now, even with Wes only, now in this particular reset, she would definitely have a lot of knowledge. But even when she didn't have full knowledge, every time they go back to try to stop Operation Midnight, she keeps anticipating and moving up the date. So now it would be worse. I mean, now it's going to be like she knows everything, basically. Right. It's just like, all right, blow it from the space or something. I don't know. Oh, but that is an interesting point. Like, for instance, the Dane. Okay, when they went back to 2012, Becky shot him. Right. And they found, and Shiv ends up finding his body. Okay. Well, now they've gone back again. Well, Dane knows now if he walks out of the cabin, he gets shot.
That's true.
My guess is he locks himself in the cabin. I don't know, and waits him out. Like, hey, if you guys want to stay here and get caught by the cops, so be it. I'm not stepping out there and you shoot me again. Yeah. They're just saying you have this idea of people with foreknowledge now.
Yeah.
You can't just rely on past events.
Yeah.
This has probably already been established. But I did note that we don't have the, when a past self dies, the future self disappears scenario. We have both Reberovs are dead in the same scene. So, and I did like the detail that Samson, the scientist, and Becky have different memories of the guards. So he remembered they had pistols. She remembers they had automatic weapons. And I think that's because they're from different resets. Which
could be.
Then I think means we're dealing with alternate realities. I'm not sure. Anyway, but I think the fact that people have jumped past the traditional Lazarus Project reset times has made this into almost like we have alternate realities. I could be wrong here, but anyway. At least people that shouldn't be alive in a reality are alive in a reality.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's. I'd be surprised they did that. That is certainly adding a level of complexity that I hope they can manage. However,
Right,
I think it's more likely that the way that people are confused when they go through more than one, version. It's like, all these different memories at different times.
Okay. That's true. Good point.
To me,
good point.
that's already been established.
Okay. So in other words, yeah, they both went through the same things, but they remembered them. They're remembering a different reset, but they went through them all. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. I like that concept. This was an interesting. This felt like, in some ways, a video game. It reminded me of when you take on the big boss in a video game and you get wiped, and then you just reset. And you're like, because everybody died. Not everybody, but a hell of a lot of people die in this episode.
Yeah.
And it did make me think, like, if they couldn't force a reset, would that be it? They lost so many people from the current time.
You mean if they hadn't asked Wes to change anything? If the scientist had pre-programmed the machine, right? Because he's saying he couldn't do it with what he had. So if they had a machine there that could do it, which it doesn't seem like, actually they don't, right? Because that's the technology that they had to get.
Correct.
So they don't have the ability to go back in time. So they would need to recreate all that information.
Yeah. But so it's just funny. Like, I was remembering, I played back in the day the original Witcher game. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so there was this incredibly involved quest where it was like, you gotta go basically run across the entire freaking map, and you're like, for this you have to go get 3 slime beast pelts, and you're like, oh crap, I gotta go. And you get, like, hours went by, and that's the whole point, is to, like, lead up to this final boss basically. And so I did all the stuff, jumped through all the freaking hoops. And I got to the point where I was supposed to meet up with the boss, and I think the thing I needed was a lightning rod or whatever. So I got it. I'm like, all right, here we go. And I'm like any smart player, I saved the game right before I was going to fight the boss. So that way, if I lose, reload, try again. Okay, just like Lazarus Project, time travel back, try again. So I do the thing. I got the boss, just killed me, just wiped me. Boop. I was like, oh crap. Okay, well. Good thing I saved. And so I go back, I load the game, and but no, either there's a bug or the game decided to be a jerk. But the item that I'd spent countless hours, this lightning rod or whatever the hell it was, it's gone. Like, it's just not. And so I would not be a good Lazarus agent, because my solution was, well, that was a good game. I quit. Delete. I'm not wasting my time spending hours to go get this thing again for the chance that it might work.
Actually, my mother is dying. I have to go talk to her.
There's better uses for my time.
Shuffles off this mortal coil.
Goodbye. Anyway, so I said goodbye. But it did feel like let's reset, because I assume not everyone will get killed off quite as easily in this next go run. But it is, everybody's got foreknowledge now.
Yes.
Oh, the 2012 selves know about the future selves. The future selves know about they already knew about the past selves, but they know that there's at least some antagonism there. This was more or less a lot of a Shiv story. I'm guessing he's going to be some kind of he's going to swing the balance, right? Because notice he hasn't been one of the future people, right? So it's not like future Shiv is coming back.
Correct.
Future Shiv is still out there being future Shiv. But so we have this 2012 Shiv, and he's starting to maybe question the Lazarus Project in general. And so I feel like that's an arc for him that might be going somewhere.
Yeah, dramatically that makes sense. The fact that they're willing to talk, I don't know. I feel like the events of trying to keep this technology from being found, I mean, it's possible that's what they're focused on the last 2 episodes, but really, That doesn't. It's like they have that to sort of round out, but also to resolve the whole. Oh, we're caught in a loop. So those are two different things.
Yeah,
so why they wouldn't say, okay, let's fix that loop thing and not waste any time dealing with how we're going to, not save somebody from, I don't know. I guess you have 2 episodes, so you could do one for each. We don't know if there's going to be a season 3.
I mean, the original plan being to stop Janet from being kidnapped at all back in 2023, I think, that would have stopped all of the time travel stuff because she wouldn't be around to give advice and improve the time travel. So that was the plan that was going to, if it worked, that would solve the problem. But now it's almost too late. It's earlier but in time, but it's too late because now Janet's already talked to the time travel folks. They don't really have any control over the fact that she's already been with them for a while. And so even if they rescue Janet, the knowledge is already with the team. So, if they let the team live, then time travel happens. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's hard, because I feel like there might be something we're missing.
Yeah.
And that's the complexity, and that's the thing. Like they've got so many loops going on right now. It's hard to have faith that they've thought everything out correctly.
Right, because there are so many variables to take in, and So it's still interesting. It's still a vital show. It hasn't gotten into I'm not rolling my eyes. It's like, oh, come on now. It's a fascinating time travel story, and I'm fairly confident in this show's ability to stick the landing. They've proven so far that they have a plan. That it's not just like, what do we want to do next? I don't know. How about if George meets himself? All right, fine, let's write it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they've got an idea and they're carrying it out, and so kudos to the show for that.
Yeah.
So we'll be back talking about episode 7, the penultimate episode.
Yes, that's right.
So come on back for that. Thank you as always, Paul. Appreciate it, good sir.
No problem.
And we'll talk to everybody next time. Bye.